Welcome to the Between Hoops podcast. I'm your host, Colby Wood, joined with you by my co-host, Ryan McGoy.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Man, we might have a little bit of a gloomy episode today, unfortunately. We're going to be talking a little bit about your Tar Heels and how they broke your heart over the weekend.
Oh, my gosh.
Obviously, we got some Memphis Grizzlies drama, some heartbreak there as well. We're going to talk a little bit about KD on the Suns, how I feel about him. Who are some real title contenders? Now that we got a good taste of KD on the Suns, we've seen Kyrie on the Mavericks,
right,
for a few games. So, and at the end of the pod this week, we're going to be drafting NBA villains.
Excited for that one.
I think that'll be fun.
It will.
I'm probably going to approach it more of like a movie or like a fictional standpoint.
Like who would make like the best?
Yeah. And then you're going to do like
I'll probably just do
real life villains, like players who have been considered like the bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready for that. By the way, subscribe to the pod, follow the pod, like, comment, subscribe, do whatever. We appreciate whatever. Any kind of interaction y'all have with us, we appreciate it. Even the negative interactions.
For sure.
Which we haven't come across much.
We haven't, no.
But, we expect to grow a little bit.
Hope so.
Man, just kick it off for me, man. Duke beating UNC at Chapel Hill on Saturday.
Man.
I got to see the first half with you, but I
nuts.
had prior commitments, so I had to leave in the second half, which is unfortunate because I wanted to see how you were doing and how you're holding up and how you would take the loss. But
I'm still
when I came back, I think I learned a few things about how you how you handle loss.
I don't handle losses very well, especially to Duke, man. Riley Newton, our buddy, who's a Duke fan, has not let me live this one down, and it's been tough. I don't know what to say. Like, the game just wasn't.
I want you to let it out, man. Ran a little bit.
Well,
keep it PG-13.
It's okay. Started off. It was a good game. It was a good game.
It was a good game.
I can't sit here and say it wasn't like a thriller. Like, that was a good game. But
It was.
We started off like 5-0. We were getting in on, man. They couldn't score for like the first like 4 or 5 minutes, and then pretty much they took a lead, and we were playing catch up the whole game, and we came back and tied it, took the 4-point lead, and
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
No,
well, let's talk about the.
I'm not gonna like. All I'll say is like, we just can't make shots. This team is just so. I don't know. Growing up, I've watched Carolina. As soon as you get an offensive rebound, defensive rebound, or not offensive, defensive, we push the ball. Our tempo's fast. Yeah. This year it's just like slow down, and then Hubert Davis runs an offense for 3-point shooters, and we don't have any 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Now, here's what I want to talk about.
He's got to get some 3-point shooters in the transfer portal this summer. And
if you know, you know. But if you don't know, now you know. But that game was a huge game because that pretty much – well, I can't say it's entirely sealing the deal for y'all because if you win the ACC tournament, you'll get into the NCAA tournament. But had y'all won that game –
we probably would have had to win one game in the ACC tournament.
Yeah, but – I mean, I think that's pretty much given that you're gonna win the first game. But yeah, man, that sucks, and it sucks losing that game to Duke, such an important game to Duke. But as I was telling a friend of mine, Duke and UNC love just taking blows at each other in important big games. They break each other's hearts, but that's why it's such a big rivalry.
Well, you got them last year, most important game of the rivalry ever. But you know what? That was last year, and I can hold that over.
You mentioned
my Duke buddies.
You mentioned the field goals or the 3-pointers. They went 5 for 23. The Tar Heels.
It's terrible.
21%, not too good. The Duke Blue Devils only shot 4 for 13 from 3.
See,
but that was 30%. So. I think they know their strong suit. You're right about the Tar Heels, though. They got some guys that like to run and gun a little bit, shoot more than they really need to.
Oh, my gosh.
Baycott, though, had 17 points and 11 rebounds. A solid outing for him. It's no surprise he got a double-double there. R.J. Davis, though, that was one of the surprises for me because, I'm kind of a casual fan as far as college goes. But I was watching that game, and I was just really surprised by him coming off the bench doing what he did.
Dude, he's really
17 points and 6 rebounds.
And it was senior night, so we have 5 starters, and we started all 5 of them, but they played one or 2 minutes. And then I was like, all right, we got to get RJ Davis and Caleb Love back in there.
RJ's a starter?
Yeah, RJ and Caleb
are
starters.
That's why I was confused. Okay.
But
that he should be because he played very well.
Here's my thing. Baycott and RJ are the 2 people that I do not have problems with because they're consistent, somewhat consistent. RJ can go through spells where he don't hit shots. Baycott's pretty much a double-double lock anytime he goes out on the floor. Always getting fouled, going to the free throw line. He shot 9 for 10 the other night. Mm-hmm. And, he can come back for his 5th year because of the COVID stuff. You get a COVID year. And RJ could be a senior next year. I hope everyone just would leave except them. Pete Nance is gone. I hope Caleb Love transfers. I'm sorry. He hit that shot against Duke for us. He was credible last year, but he just pisses me off, man. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore with him. I don't know.
Now, Flipowski, I know he hurt your feelings.
Oh, my gosh.
Kyle Flipowski, 22 points and 13 rebounds.
I ain't got nothing negative to say about him. That dude can ball. That dude can ball. I mean.
He can. He really can.
You have Leaky Black, who's probably, I know people, the analysts and stuff aren't saying he's the best defender in the country, but I think he's the best defender in the country. And then Filipowski's just going off.
Filipowski or Flipowski? Mike Wazowski?
It
is Filipowski.
Filipowski. It's Filipowski. Yeah.
My bad.
I thought it was Filipowski when he came to Duke. And
Filipowski. Filipowski. You know what, dude? That is crazy to me. Looking at these stats, take a guess. Unless you're looking at 2?
Yeah, I'm looking at them.
Okay, I'll just tell you. The Duke only had 4 assists as a team. I mean, is that normal for a?
No, that's not normal.
UNC had 8 assists.
So usually
that's crazy.
Usually we have about 3 or 4 assists and we just don't win.
That's crazy.
Not like on a consistent
4
basis
assists as a team.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
that's actually crazy. You have the same amount of blocks as you do assists. You have more steals than you do assists. That's kind of wild to me.
8 turnovers and Carolina had.
There's more isolation ball there, I guess.
Well, I mean, all they were doing, man, was running ball screens, and Hubert Davis does not. His game plan, I don't understand how you don't hedge ball screens. If you don't know what a hedge ball screen is, for anybody's listening, if your man sets the screen, go up and help. Stop the dude from driving, because every time they would get it to their guards and they would set screens and they'd go to the basket, and it was just over and over. We're lucky they didn't make 7 more pull-up jumpers, or that would have been a blowout.
Yeah, well, that kind of brings me to my other point, is that was a pretty even game.
Yeah, I mean,
Duke only had 2 more field goals than UNC did. I mean, they made 5 more, but the only thing that kind of stands out is y'all shot 10 more threes than they did. About the same number of free throws, the same exact number of total rebounds, same number of offensive rebounds. Y'all doubled their assists, 2 more blocks than them, 2 less steals than them, about the same amount of turnovers, 1 more than them, and 1 more personal fouls. Y'all had 16 and they had 15. It's an even game.
That's even,
very even game. And that's one thing I think about every time I watch them play, is how tight of a game it is.
It is. There is I don't know the exact number, but I guarantee you there's not more than, well, I don't know. There probably isn't more than 7 or 8 blowouts in history between these two.
Yeah.
Now, don't hold me to that.
Don't
hold me to that. But
yeah, you may debunk Ryan for us. Just go to Google real quick and.
I bet I'm wrong, but that's what it seems like to me. Is
it really feels that way. I mean, it definitely feels that way.
Man, and Duke. The thing about Duke, and I'm not trying to downplay them. Duke's a good team, but they're young and that shows sometimes. But they're not just light years better than UNC. They're heating up right now. I'll give them credit. They're heating up, and they could make some noise in March Madness. But it was a good game. But I don't know. It was a good game from a non-fan's perspective, because that was not fun for me. But
yeah. I was telling someone the whole weekend for us just wasn't good. I mean, even if you want to go back to last Friday, our alma mater lost. We went and watched our boys, our high school boys, play in state, They lost. The girls lost.
That was just it was a disappointing.
Back-to-back games of loss.
It was disappointing.
And then that next Saturday, the Grizzlies they played the Nuggets. Lost that.
And they
game.
were up, weren't they?
We lost
they were
that
up for a while.
And God, dude, I'm gonna have to get into it, but I'm reluctant to talk about it because it sucks.
I told Colby if I said what I really wanted to say about this Carolina Duke game, we would get probably like
demonetized, even though we're not monetized anyway. But
we would get banned from YouTube. Someone would come upon it and find it.
Yeah,
because
Ryan can't be. You can't be doing them death threats, man.
No,
not on our podcast.
I don't know.
By the way, the Grizzlies played the Nuggets on that Friday too, so we went and watched our boys and girls play. Both lost.
Yeah, and
the Grizzlies lost
in the same night, and then the next night was.
Yeah. Okay, so here we'll just transition to the Grizzlies while we're at it.
Let's do it.
Because this whole podcast, the whole theme is just loss. It feels like because
this is a ranting episode.
The Grizzlies are just in a tough situation right now. I mean, I'm sure everybody's heard by now, but that Ja Morant is suspended for at least 2 games. It may be more than that. They're launching an investigation now.
Oh my gosh!
So he I'm not sure what nightclub it was at. It might have been in Denver. I think it was actually in L.A. like the moment because they immediately went to L.A., I believe. But he flashes a gun on his Instagram Live. So that's not good on top of all the other accusations that he's already facing. That's just not a good look for the Grizzlies and for him. And I, as a fan, that just sucks to see because I love watching them play.
Yeah, for sure. I mean.
And that's just – it's just not a good look.
It's like
but the fact that you're facing like legal repercussions now, and man, on top of that, with Brandon Clark tearing his Achilles.
Yeah, that was rough.
So Brandon Clark tears his Achilles on Friday against the Nuggets. Like that sucks enough as it is. So I had to go to bed with that on my mind, and then I wake up and I see Ja Morant flash his gun on Instagram Live. Yeah, that's kind of sucky.
Yeah.
And the reason that really worries me is because, say you get it figured out, that's okay. But now you've got this image of like a wannabe thug, and then I don't want that on his mind and on the team's mind going in the playoffs. Like, dude, if you're gonna like go to the strip club, that's fine. But at this point in the season, what are we doing? Why are you at the strip club at 2 a.m.?
Yeah, I mean,
why are we doing that? And it seems like every time we go to LA, we like to get wild, and there's no telling like how many times they've done this and then turned around and won games.
Oh, yeah.
But
there's no telling.
It's just it's alarming because that's just it really hurts his reputation, and that just sucks. As a Grizzlies fan, as a Ja fan, I hope he figures it out and hope he can come back soon. He was only suspended 2 games, but now they're launching this whole investigation about in Denver because I wonder if any of it has to do with the fact that he traveled with the gun.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I thought I saw something today that like this whole new thing about this investigation is because he brought the gun on the plane.
There's no telling, dude.
And that could be part of. I mean,
it's gonna.
That's a problem. If
they're gonna figure it out, and the only thing that really sucks about it is because he's already facing these accusations, and so even if because I was defending him for the past 2 weeks,
yeah,
I'm like, well, he probably didn't do that. The kid that he beat up was just wanting money, or his mom was just wanting money, and the whole mall fight thing, like that was just a misunderstanding as well. And then the whole pointing the gun at the Pacers in the Grizzlies parking garage, that wasn't real either. I think they're just trying to paint this negative image of Ja in the media, which is,
true.
I still believe that to a degree, but you're painting him in a negative light. I think like, no, this is the majority of this is fake. They don't like to see us winning. We're the Grizzlies.
Right.
And then in the midst of all this, you go on Instagram Live, flash the gun in a strip club, and then all of those other accusations seem kind of true. You know what I mean?
Then it's like,
it kind of makes those make you look at those and be like, wait, could this have actually like happened?
Yeah.
Because he seems unhinged right now. He seems a little reckless. I hope he figures it out. It sounds to me like he's getting the help he needs, and I don't know what all that entails. But
I was about to say, what help are you gonna like?
I've just heard it's just a come to Jesus, sit down and talk to him about the
okay.
reality of it. But
I forget the way Taylor Jenkins put it. What was the exact phrase? Like a
you should just like some time off, some time away.
Yeah, but he said like a. This isn't what he said, but it was like a mental health or something like along those lines, like a.
I mean, it certainly is a mental health. It's not like in the way of like him being like bipolar or depressed or anything, but it is a mental health thing because a normal person doesn't just do that.
Right.
That's his way of, I think, dealing with stress. The way of first off, he's coming from a mid-major, having no offers other than like Murray State, and you don't have all this attention in college, so it's not something that you just kind of warm up to. And then all of a sudden you're the second pick, and then you're a franchise player, and then all this money falls into your lap. I mean, I know he worked for it, but it kind of falls into your lap, and you just have all these expectations, and then Nike's, sponsoring him, and now he's the face of Powerade. And then all of a sudden, it's just kind of all coming down at once, and your only way to handle it is kind of like to kind of go out and party and, drink. I mean, I'm sure he was drinking heavily when he posted that on his story.
I'm sure.
And by the way, I don't know how accurate this is, but I heard Chris Vernon talking about it today. Again, I don't know the truth behind it, but if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. When he was live and, doing everything he was doing, first off, I was watching the live. I was actually up at 4 a.m.
Oh, you really?
I was actually up at 4 a.m.
So you saw it live?
Yeah.
Actually?
I was actually up at 4 a.m. and I clicked on the live. But he brought up a point of someone commented, Ja, yo, this is your main account. And then immediately he ended the live. So that makes me wonder if, like, he had, like, a Finsta or a fake Insta and, like, a fake account where all his friends and his buddies in his close circle follows him, and he was just, like, showing off to his friends. He didn't realize he was on his main account, and he immediately, like, again, he wasn't in the right mindset. He must have been drunk, but
he had to.
Man, I hope he figures it out. But on top of that, that's just one of our huge losses. Not to mention, we lost to the Clippers. Dylan Brooks was suspended that game because he reached his technical foul limit. So every 2 techs he gets now, he's going to be suspended for the next game.
So if he gets one, say he gets one against the Lakers, won the next game, then he's suspended the next game. Okay.
Right.
Dang.
Yeah. Every 2 techs is a suspension
They
now.
better about that time.
I wonder if I think that translates to the playoffs. If not, good news for us, but I figure it translates to the playoffs. Again, I don't know, but
how long are they looking at Ja being out, you think?
Well, it's a minimum of 2, so he is not going to play against the Lakers. But after that,
that's good for me.
It's kind of a toss-up because there's this ongoing investigation, so it makes me wonder. It may be longer. It really may be longer. It could be the rest of I mean, we don't know right now. It's so early on, but Brandon Clark is out for the rest of the season. That I was telling you, that was a huge loss for us because when he comes in off the bench, he gives Ja that lob threat, and he kind of brings in the defense.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you lob it up to Brandon, and that's the 2 points. That's what he does. He finishes lobs, and then you don't have that anymore. Steven Adams is still out. I don't know when he'll be back.
What's up with that? I didn't think that injury was that bad.
I think he's coming back sooner than later, but I haven't heard much. But that's not good. You got 2 forwards out. You're really shallow in that
pick
that
and roll.
Forward
You're
spot.
really shallow in that pick and roll offense you got going there.
So then all of a sudden you're having to rely so much on Xavier Tillman, who is not a 35-minute player whatsoever, and he's been doing his thing though. But it's alarming because then you got to play Roddy more, and then you got to play Aldama way more than you want to.
And then you're relying on Bain, and which you can rely on Bain, but you know what I'm saying. I mean,
yeah, it's just. I mean, there's a lot going on. We need to figure out
for sure
before the playoffs, and we're going to get into that in a minute too about like who we think are some actual contenders at this point. Because at this point, with like 20 games left, we're kind of seeing, okay, these people are legit. These teams are legit. Here's what I want to talk about right now. I watched the Clippers play last night, which would be 2 days ago at the point or when this is released, but. It made me so mad, not because Ja wasn't playing, not because Dylan Brooks wasn't playing, or Steven Adams, 3 of our starters. It's the fact that we played so well without them. And we had a 51 point, I believe. Yeah, 51 points in the third. And then we lost. We lost, dude. I mean, I understand you don't have Ja, you don't have your closer, but like I was telling a buddy of mine, I'd rather lose by 20.
Yeah. than have
I'd
that
rather,
happen.
Like, don't give me hope because I turned on the game knowing, like, okay, we're probably going to lose, but I didn't expect us to be dominating the way
And
we
then
were.
you got hope, and then you lost your
We
hope.
shot 54% from the field,
That's good.
54%, 52 from three.
God.
52.9, so really 53% from three. That's great. I mean, we shot well. Free throws are still an issue. The Clippers out-rebounded us like crazy, though. I mean, that's honestly the number I see is popping out. They had 53 rebounds. We had 26. So that's our loss right there. I mean, that's the game. That's the stat. But, again, no Steven Adams. Who are you going to have down there to rebound? It sucks.
Yeah.
Again, congrats to the Clippers, though, because that's your first win with Westbrook. Like I was telling you, they were due for a win. So, I mean, it does not surprise me that they beat us. But I'm like, damn, man. Like, you heard me yelling last night whenever Paul George hit that one shot.
Yeah, I was like, hey,
to
Colby.
ice the
I
game.
was like, hey, Colby, I think they lost.
To ice the game. But, man, bro, it's just it's kind of a dark time right now for Grizzlies fans.
Yeah.
I hope we figure it out. We blew a 16-point lead. We were going into the fourth with 16, and Clippers went on a 16-0 run.
That's
I mean, that can't happen.
I didn't watch it. I didn't, but
it was a good game, but it was just like a heartbreaking game. Like, because that game right there, if we had won that, would have meant so much amidst all the controversy going on.
yeah.
But we got the Lakers tonight, so tune into that. But, again, I don't feel confident in it. I really don't.
In the Lakers game, you don't feel confident?
No, I mean.
Did you know my boy Pau Gasol's getting his jersey retired tomorrow?
I saw that, yeah. Well, yeah, that's just more incentive for the Lakers to win, I guess. LeBron's not playing, though, right?
No, he ain't playing for
So
3 weeks or so.
We don't. Dylan Brooks will be back, so there's that.
There's something for you. I mean.
And I want to mention, too, really fast that Luke Kennard played really well. And he did his thing. He did exactly what we, got him to do or picked him up for.
Yeah.
5 for 5 from 3. I mean,
that's what he does, man. I've seen
Come on
enough
now.
of that. I've seen enough of that junk at Duke, man.
just efficient. I mean,
I've seen enough.
he was just water. I mean, played really well. I think he played really well. That was a good game. Now, let's talk about KD. I was wanting to talk about this last week, but it's a little premature. Now we've gotten some time to watch him play. You know how he looks.
Sunday he went off.
Yeah, so let's start with Wednesday. That's when they played the Hornets. That was his debut.
What's his stats that night? How many did
He
drop?
had 23 points in 27 minutes, 10 for 15.
Dang.
Devin Booker had 37 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. Yep, in a Suns win.
They're gonna complement each other really well.
Yep,
for sure.
Against the Bulls on Friday, Devin Booker again had 35. I mean, he's just man. Because you got KD now, you're spacing it out like crazy.
Yep,
So Booker's getting even more looks. 35%, 50%, or 35 points, 50% from the field. Kevin Durant, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, pretty solid, but 70% efficiency for KD there in that game. And
That's
then
pretty
the
good,
Mavericks on Sunday, which is the one we really want to talk about. Man, that gave us some insight for that matchup in the future because that's supposedly a rivalry, and I can see it for sure.
I hope we get that in the playoffs.
Especially because the Mavericks beat the Suns out in the playoffs last season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of brewing up. I mean, you got KD on the Suns, Kyrie on the Mavs.
Yep.
Kind of brewing up a little bit. However, I don't think Kyrie is going to be on the Mavs next season. That's my personal
probably not.
my thought. I don't think he'll be on there. I think
No.
it'll be Anthony Davis. But
Maybe.
that's besides the point because Kevin Durant had 37 points on Sunday again, 70% from the field, 12 for 17. Very solid.
He went off.
Devin Booker, 36. I mean, damn.
It's not like Devin Booker.
36 points, 10 assists, 60%. Like they are scary offensively.
For sure.
I have it written here on my paper, scary hours with an exclamation point, because the Suns they're scary. The Grizzlies don't have to play them again, luckily.
Oh, they don't. That's
no.
good.
We played them all, but
I'll tell you what. If Ja stays out,
Suns are legit.
if Ja stays out, man, and y'all and Adams don't get back, well, Clark ain't coming back, but
Yeah.
I think the Kings and the Suns may climb up on y'all if that happens.
Yeah.
But I think y'all are in a good enough position where y'all can hold somewhat of a good, Like, I'm not saying y'all are gonna like.
You mean
drop.
like top 4?
Yeah, I'm not saying you're gonna drop.
I don't see. I don't see the Grizzlies dropping below 4. I just don't see that happening.
I don't either. With how many games are left, you are bound to win a couple good ones, a few good ones.
I'm gonna get to that in a minute too. Talking about, I've listed 4 contenders.
Okay.
I want you to add any if you want, but like, there's only 4 contenders, true contenders I see in my eyes.
Okay.
But anyway,
I'll have to hear what you say first, and then I can.
But talking about the Suns real fast is their defense is kind of alarming because you traded away all your defensive guys, Bridges, Cameron Johnson, even to a degree. They can lock up. Kevin Durant isn't gonna, because Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are giving you everything they got on the offensive end, and they're not gonna go back down and just give 1,010%.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's just one thing. But I mean, they're offensively, man. I don't know. Most people don't have 2 guys. You know, a guy that can stop Booker and a guy that can stop KD. You might have one guy that can stop one, but
that's iffy. And then you got CP3 orchestrating the whole thing, and
that's
it's
true.
like,
I mean, CP3's not going to go out and give you 30,
but
no, he's definitely solid.
There were times in that game yesterday where the defense would be so busy with KD and Booker that Chris Paul would just be wide open.
Yeah, Chris
Paul
can
hit threes.
Chris Paul had 2 points.
Oh, 2?
No. Sorry, this is against the Hornets.
Oh, okay.
Against the Hornets, he had 2 points, but he had 11 assists. Again, like, he's an orchestrator. At this point in his career, that's what he does. He's not going to shoot a bunch. I mean, he did go 1 for 8, so that's not very great. But
show me the Mavs game if you can pull that up.
Okay, let me see here.
Because he was hitting some shots, I want to say. Like, and I could be wrong. I don't know.
Let me pull that up. But we're going to get into the contenders here in a moment.
Okay.
I'm going to look up Suns versus Mavs real quick to appease my co-host box score. Let's see, Chris Paul. Let's see how you did. I'm going to say he had 16. I haven't even looked.
I don't even know if it was that much.
11.
See,
that's where he'll give you 11 and 7, or like 5 and 12.
But that's, I mean,
yeah,
that's what he wants to do. I mean, he's going to get them involved, and then you're going to be so focused on them that he's going to be involved. So
yeah. No, the Suns are legit, and
they are, man.
Spoiler, but they are one of my contending teams I have on here. I'm going to start off with this.
Okay.
And I have this in order of teams I think are the true contenders.
Like in order of how big of a contender they are.
In order of the teams I feel like are real contenders at this point in the season, because I mean our sample size is pretty large.
Yeah.
At number 1, I got the Bucks. This may be controversial to some of y'all, but
it shouldn't be.
It's the Bucks for me. I've seen enough. They were on a 16-game winning streak before the 76ers snapped that recently, but currently they're first in the East. They finally did it. They finally surpassed the Celtics. I mean, the Celtics were hot there for a little while, but Bucks currently first in the East, 3rd in defensive rating, 16th in offensive rating. So here's my thing. You look at that 16th in offensive rating, and you may be like, ooh, like that's kind of middle of the pack. That's not very great. But then your defensive rating is so high that's your anchor. Your 3rd in defensive rating. It doesn't matter if you're kind of middle of the pack. By the way, we're talking about NBA superstars. Yeah. It's not like you're 16th in a bad league. This is NBA teams we're talking about.
That's good.
Your 3rd in defensive rating. You've got arguably the best player in the world on your team. Again, arguably, because the NBA right now is stacked. But Giannis Antetokounmpo doing his thing. He's a freaking hoss. He's been there. He's been to the finals. He's done that. That's why, I mean, they're a team I would not want to play. If I'm the Celtics, I would not want to play the Bucks.
I think people are not forgetting about them, but they're not giving them credit like they can do it again. They're not. I mean, I don't know.
The Bucks were a lot of people's favorite, actually, going into the season, and rightfully so. I mean, they're doing their thing.
Well, they're giving them credit, but even that win streak, what was it, 16?
16, yeah.
You didn't hear about it. Like, you didn't hear about it that much. If that would have been the freaking...
If it was the Lakers, yeah.
If it was the Lakers, you'd hear about it. If it was
all you hear.
If it was the Celtics, you'd hear about it. If it was the Suns...
It's just part of being a small market.
It is.
I mean, you can have the best player in the world, but you're still in Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's true.
But I definitely think the Bucks are one for me. Would you have a different one? A different one? because
The thing about the Celtics is the Celtics would be my one, and they could very well make it there. But
they definitely can. I mean, it's so close to me. I got the Celtics at 2, and in parentheses here, I just got the eye test. Watching them play, man, they are just.
I'm gonna agree with your 1 and 2.
They-
There's no debate.
The
really.
Celtics, it's very close for me. I got 2 Western teams in the bottom 2, but I got the Celtics at my second. I think they're the second favorite for me. Again,
I agree.
That eye test, you're just watching them play. It's like dynamite, and they get hot, dude. Between Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, even Al Horford can go on these. He can do it. He can get it done. 3rd in offensive rating, 5th in defensive rating. That should be pretty evident right there of how
3rd in
good they
offensive, 5th in deep.
are. Yeah, top 5 in both. That's pretty impressive.
That's good.
That means
That's really good.
your players get on both ends, do them both. They get it done. Again, they're very good. They're a game and a half back from first, so they very well could still end up at first. Just second in the East and second in that top 5 right there in the East. Those are all very good teams. It would shock me if the Knicks got to 1, but it wouldn't just completely amaze me. They're 8 games back. That's kind of a lot right now.
They're hot
at this
right
point
now
in the season.
too.
But it very well could end up being the Cavs or the Sixers at that one spot. But right now, for me, the absolute contenders is the Bucks and the Celtics.
Yes.
At 3, this is going to be no surprise. The Nuggets, first in the West, first in a really tough West at that. But 6.5 games up from the second seed. That's a pretty good gap right there. This ain't no 1.5 game difference.
No,
they have solidified themselves as the team in the West. 2nd in offensive rating, 2nd in assists per game, 11th in defensive rating. Their defense is pretty good. They got some wing players that get it done. Aaron Gordon, he's tough, but
They got Jokic, man.
He's averaging a triple-double.
Really?
They are first in the league in field goal percentage and first in 3-point percentage. Did you know that?
Dang.
Would that surprise you? First in 3-point percentage.
Wow.
In the whole NBA as a team.
Kind of surprised.
First in field goal percentage. But you know why? I have a theory.
Well,
You give the ball to Jokic down low. He sucks in all the D, no homo.
pause.
All the D, the defense comes to him. It's just like a magnet. Boom, pass it out. You know how he does? Just right behind the head, here and there. He's got eyes in the back of his head, just passing it out to his shooters, who really aren't even just you got Murray. He's a.
Oh yeah, Murray can go get
But
it.
he can be on a court with Christian Brown. Christian Brown.
Yeah, from
Kansas. And he'll make him look like Steph Curry because his passing ability and his willingness to pass it to the open man and just seeing the guy.
Yeah.
That's the reason I feel like they're so good in field goal percentage. Also, you're feeding him down low, doing his little fadeaway junk, just floaters. He's
gonna make them.
He makes those.
Yeah, most of the
And also
time.
when he's shooting the majority of your shots, that's going to happen.
Right.
It really doesn't surprise me they're first in field goal percentage, but that first in 3-point percentage, that's pretty impressive. So
Yeah.
I definitely think they're I think in the finals, in a finals matchup, I think the Bucks and the Celtics would both beat the Nuggets.
For sure.
That's why I have the Nuggets at 3. But
I do think the winner of the NBA Finals this
it'd
year
be close. It would be close. Don't
I-
get me wrong.
I think the NBA champion this year will come out of the East. I'm gonna say that. I do.
The Grizzlies don't want to play none of these teams I'm talking about.
No.
They don't.
No.
And I don't have them on my list. At 4th, I have the Suns. They're 4th in the West, and they very well could end up being 2nd seed.
They really could.
Let's see here. They're
3 games back from the Grizzlies right now.
right. 3 games back from the Grizz. And the
2
Grizzlies, in their current situation, losing Clark, Dylan, having to watch himself, and Ja. Yeah, they could end up. There are 2 games back from the Kings, who the Kings they have a tough schedule from here on out.
Yeah.
And that's for the Kings, man. I hope the Kings stay at 3 because potentially I would rather play the Kings in the second round than the Suns.
For sure.
So hopefully the Kings stay at 3, but no. The Suns very well could end up being 2nd seed. They've won 3 in a row with KD. They're only going to continue to win. 15th in offensive rating, the Suns. 6th in defensive rating, 3rd in assists per game. Now, that's going to be flip-flopped.
Yeah, it'll be.
Because you basically traded all of your defensive
Cam Johnson,
players.
Mikal Bridges, yeah.
Right. And that 15th in offensive rating should go way
Go
up.
way up. It should.
Because you basically flip-flop defense for offense, star
Right.
players for role player, or role players for star player. Like I said, that 3-game win streak, and they got that. The next 3 is the Thunder, who that's a win. I mean, I would figure.
I would hope.
They're playing the Thunder, the Kings, and then the Warriors. So, I mean, Kings, get it done real quick.
I think take it. Steph is back now, though.
Give yourself some space. Beat the Suns for us. That'd be nice. And yeah, the Warriors, they got Steph back. And if I had to put a 5th, it would be the Warriors.
I'm gonna put the Warriors. I was gonna say that.
It would definitely be the Warriors. They're sitting at 5 right now, but I mean, you can't count them out. I mean, you counted them out last year, and look what happened, because they're still the Warriors.
They're the Warriors.
They are a dynasty.
They've been there, bro.
They are on the back end of that dynasty, but nevertheless, it is still a dynasty. I mean, man, not a team you'd want to play in the playoffs, which is scary for me, because say the Grizzlies end up falling to 3, the Warriors are about 6. Well, sorry, Grizzlies, you got the Warriors in the first round. At least you got home court, though. But no, yeah,
That's not a favor. Yeah.
I'm in like this weird gray area right now. I'm confident. I'm confident in the Grizzlies. I'm confident they can figure it out. But I'm also just.
They're going to do some.
I'm realistic. There's a lot going on right now. Really, I'm not worried about the Mavericks, by the way, too much.
I'm not worried about the Mavericks or the Clippers.
They are an offensive powerhouse. I understand that, but defensively, they can't do it all. Kyrie and Luka can't do it all, and you traded away. They traded away their defensive guys as well.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting to see. Really, what I want to see would be somehow the Mavericks at 5 and the Suns at 4. I'd like to see that first round matchup. That'd be great.
Get them out of the way. You
that's
want
what
them
I
out
want.
of the way, don't you?
Yeah. Well, really,
I just want to see a good series too. On top of that,
I want the Grizzlies to play somebody like the Timberwolves
LA's tied for
in the first round.
My Lakers are tied for the 10th spot. Well, no, if it ended right now, the Jazz would get it. But wait, yeah, that's right. The Jazz would get it. But I think we do play the Jazz one more time. So we're both 31-34. So maybe maybe my boys can sneak in.
The Lakers, yeah.
They beat the Warriors.
I'm rooting for them, but not tomorrow or tonight.
Yeah.
Or tonight, yeah, on Tuesday.
We're going to have to get used to that.
Yep, I know. Let's get into the draft.
Okay, let's do it.
This week's draft topic is drafting NBA players who would make the best villains. We're going to actually approach this a little bit different.
Maybe use some of the same players, though, maybe. I don't know.
I'm not going to draft a player if you draft them, but actually I'm not worried about that because you're going to draft players based on, like, nonfiction, based on how they played in real life.
Yes.
Based on,
just
things they've done.
My favorite NBA villains, for sure.
Things they've done in reality. I'm drafting NBA villains based on players who I feel like would be great villains. Villains in movies.
Okay.
Like players I feel like they could play a good movie villain, a good movie supervillain kind of thing. So you go ahead. You go first.
Let me go first. Oh, man.
Again, you're doing like the nonfiction kind of approach to it.
I'm going to get him out of the way. I'm just going to get him out of the way.
Okay.
I'm going to go Dennis Rodman.
Okay, good. I don't want you to take mine because...
Was that one of yours?
No, it's actually not. But that's a great villain. That's a great... He was actually pretty well hated. He'd be a villain in like a Gotham.
He would.
Like kind of movie.
He'd be like
a Batman villain. He's like the Black Joker kind of.
Yeah, he really is. But
I'm starting to kind of wish I'd taken him. But
okay,
that's a good point. That's a good real life villain for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna run out of here. I only have 4, but I'm gonna have to think on the fly about some of my villains. But the no-brainer for me, for NBA villains, fictionally,
like if they're in a movie.
Yeah. Nikola Jokic.
Okay.
I feel like he would be the supreme Serbian drug lord. I feel like it'd be in one of those scenes where it's like, "Don't make me call Nikola," and then Nikola just walks in the room. He's like, "I'm Nikola,"
and he's like
straight. He would be a drug boss.
He's like straight faced as it is too. Like he don't ever show any emotion really. Like he does, but he doesn't. Like
I feel like he'd be like a really great like mob boss, bodyguard kind of. You put him in like a James Bond movie, he's like all big and intimidating. He's got like a what are those called? Crew neck or
or a
sweat-
turtleneck.
turtleneck.
Turtleneck. Yeah.
You put him in like a turtleneck and like a suit. I feel like Nikola Jokic could be like a super good villain, and maybe even a little bit comedic too if you wanted to go that route. But
You
yeah,
could.
I got Nikola Jokic.
Okay. With my second pick, I'm gonna get him out of the way. Throwback alert. One of the bad boys, Bill Lambier.
I thought about him too.
Dude was mean as mean gets. I don't know how to spell his name. Whatever. Okay, dude, he was
Coming for blood.
That dude.
It's funny the two guys you have played for the Pistons.
Yeah, they did. Dude, like you watch Larry Bird fighting him back in the day. Have you ever seen that clip?
Oh yeah,
Dude, I love it. Like I love it. If we did that today, or players did that today, it'd be crazy. Like think how different it was back then.
I know.
But he was like the personification of the bad boys, like a prick. He was a prick.
That's who you think of. I think when you think of the
Yeah.
bad boys, you probably think of him.
He wasn't the best player by any means, but he lay you out. Like I love that. Like I actually do. But yeah, that's my number 2 pick, man.
With my second pick, I'm going to have to take somebody I have a feeling is on your list because
Oh.
I want him to, so I'm going to have to go ahead and take him.
Okay.
I got Ron Artest.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Ron Artest, Meta World Peace.
Oh, I was about to, if you didn't say Meta World Peace, I would take Meta World Peace.
Meta World Peace. Oh, yeah. Meta World Peace.
Oh, dang it, man.
Well, yes, he was a real life villain. Yes, I understand that. But I also feel like he'd be a good movie villain too, because he's kind of built like a tank. He's kind of, well, what would you say? I guess ripped, just cut.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, he's a funny guy, but I feel like
Malice at the Palace, baby.
yeah. I mean, not to mention he got in fight with fans. That's why he's on this list to begin with. Just look up Malice in the Palace if you don't know what I'm talking about.
If you don't, something's wrong with you, man.
Meta World Peace, Ron Artest.
And he did the 2 beats on his chest and elbow James Harden. Remember that in the head? That was so funny.
You could give Ron Artest some kind of like super soldier serum and he could go to work.
He really could.
Yeah.
Dang it, I'm kind of mad you took him, but
I had to take him. I mean,
you did.
I'm
you
low.
did.
I'm low over here.
Okay, for my third pick, we're gonna take somebody who went from the hero to the villain real quick.
Okay.
Kevin Durant.
Okay.
I mean, dude jumped ship.
Real life villain, yeah.
Dude
Another real
jumped
life villain.
ship, and he's like changed like his whole like character now, like actual character.
Slim Reaper.
Slim Reaper.
I loved him at OKC, and I didn't hate him for leaving and going to Golden State because it didn't
mean,
really
It didn't
affect me
it didn't
directly
affect me at all because the
but-
Lakers sucked.
But it had like this counter effect of like, well, I mean, basically, if you're any other team, just pack your bags. It's like go on vacation because it don't even matter at this point. That's why he's
Yeah.
kind of the villain because it's like it's just not even those
It's
the 2017 and 2018 year that wasn't even like what are we even doing? It's not even competitive
it really wasn't.
because it's just
What they
it wasn't
lose?
even close.
Probably lost like what 20 games, if that.
I have no clue, but I know. I mean, clearly they went back to back. He got his rings and he dipped.
Yeah, he had to delete his Instagram and Twitter, all his socials for a while. And go ahead with your number 3, man.
With my 3, I'm taking Patrick Beverly.
Oh,
I feel like he would be a good op in a hood movie.
okay.
I feel like he'd be like you have like this gang movie. By the way, it's like again, this is just antagonists. This doesn't have to be
it's-
like superpowers, but he'd be like in a hood movie. You know, you got this little gang violence and stuff. You know, I feel like because he's from Chicago.
He'd be a good villain at 8 Mile.
Yeah, or like no, you like Patrick Beverly. Like you see him in an alley, you just don't want to go in that alley.
His shadow's so big, and then he walks up to you, and he's like what, 6
you go
foot?
down Bill Street. Bill Street's really, really crowded, and you
Yeah.
have to take this alleyway, and you just see Patrick Beverly under a little spotlight. What do you
Turn around
do?
and run.
You're screwed.
Turn around and run.
I feel like Pat Bev, like you put some like gold chains on him, like I mean Patrick Beverly is just a very, I mean he's a good a clean cut guy, I think, but you could make him look real. You know that pirate in the Captain Phillips movie that says "I am the captain now." You ever watch that
yeah,
movie?
he
He could be like that kind of guy.
could.
Patrick
Yeah,
Beverly. He's real scrappy kind of dude.
yeah.
Musty if he needed to be in a movie.
Musty. Oh god.
Pat Bev, I love you, man.
Let's see. I'm kind of running out of clues options here too. Not really, but I these aren't like my ideal picks. I kind of just jotted some name down. Okay. I guess we'll go with Reggie Miller because if you remember, now nobody really hates Reggie Miller, okay? But in the 90s when him and the Knicks and Spike Lee were going back and forth,
Yeah, I know.
if you're a Knicks fan, you probably don't like Reggie Miller. He did the whole
The choke.
choking. What else did? I mean, he's gotten in a bunch of fights. He got in a fight with Michael Jordan. I mean, what did he score like 9 points and or like 7 points in like 6 seconds or something like that at game time. But I don't know. I'm running low,
He's
man.
more of like a villain and like
On
breaking your heart.
Yeah,
A clutch moment. He's got the ball. Yeah,
I mean, he was the guy to do it. If they were gonna, he would just give the Knicks work too. That's what I loved, like watching them old documentaries. But yeah, that's my number 4.
That's a good. He could be like an anti-hero.
He could. He's in it for himself.
I'm gonna take Dylan Brooks.
Okay.
At my 4th spot.
How you doing, Brooks?
I know he's a villain in real life. They call him Dylan the Villain. I mean, I get that. So he could be like a real life pick too. But I don't know. I feel like you could like put him in like a wrestling movie or something, and like make him put like purple and gold all over him, and have him be real flamboyant, and just do some damage there. I think Dylan Brooks could be a good movie villain as well, because he's kind of got the personality for it. He's really not likable on the court, so you can make him not likable on the screen too.
I'm gonna go this last one, and this is like kind of weird because there's a lot of people that like this man. There's a bunch. He probably has just as many haters. LeBron.
Okay, that's a good one.
Because he jumped ship. He did mend the fence or mend the fence. Whatever I was saying there.
Mend the fence.
He mended the relationship there with the Cavs after he left.
Mm-hmm.
But when he took his talent to South Beach, man, you had people burning his jerseys. You got like, I don't know. He's not my favorite player, but I do acknowledge his greatness. He's good.
Oh, yeah. You got to, because we're going to look back in 20 years and be like, I was too busy hating the guy to appreciate it.
He's never been my favorite player, but I've always been a Kobe guy. But there's a bunch of people that do not like LeBron James, and kind of for stupid reasons. Like, why are you hating on the dude?
They're hating on him because they love Jordan, I think.
Yeah.
Or because they love these other guys, they feel like they got to hate.
That's a topic for another day. We can get into Jordan versus LeBron all day. I can sit here and talk that for all day. But, yeah, I'm going to say he's my number 5. He probably could be higher on the list, too. But
yeah. I got 2 guys here, but I'll just take one of them. I'm going to take Kevin Garnett. Garnett.
He was on my list, but I decided not to.
Kevin Garnett.
Biggest trash talker.
I don't know. I mean, he's been in movies, first off. He's been in the Uncut Gems movie with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Adam Sandler's like a crazed sports bettor, and then Kevin Garnett, he plays for the Celtics in that movie, and then he's just like, he's betting on Kevin Garnett.
Right, yeah.
So he's got a little bit of, he's got the acting chops. So
he could be pretty good.
He was a villain in real life too, because he was just a beast. He's just a trash talker, deep voice, real brawny kind of. I mean, in a slim way. Like, he's slim too, but he's like not someone you'd want to come across.
No,
not someone you want to fight whatsoever.
Dude could talk his trash with the best of them. He knew about your grandma's sister's dog. I mean, he'd bring it up in the middle of a game.
You know what's funny? I have on this list legitimate villains who could be villains like in real life in the real NBA, and then I got Nikola Jokic. That'll make it easy. I have this vision in my mind of him being like a mob boss, and I think it's the funniest thing.
Work.
A turtleneck, some chains, maybe like a gold tooth. His hair buzzed like it is now, and he's got like a AK-47 strapped around his neck. I think that could be great.
He's just sitting up on a throne.
Honestly, I need it. I need that. I gotta see it.
Make the movie. You do it. Come on.
I mean, come on. Somebody hire me.
Come on, do it.
Let's do it.
He would be a good mob boss for sure.
And the kind of thing that brought that to my mind was his brothers.
Oh, his brothers.
His brothers could be in it too.
Was that with the Heat when?
They fought Markeith, I think. Markeith Morris.
One of the two. Yeah, it was Markeith.
And they could be like his henchmen in the movie.
Oh.
They could be like the guys like going out and doing all the dirty work, doing like these hitmen jobs. And then whenever they get killed by the good guy, Nikola Jokic has to step in and like do his part and
do his bidding.
man, I love Nikola Jokic.
I do too.
We find a way to talk about him every podcast.
We
for
really
at least,
do.
At least 10 minutes, it seems.
Rightfully so. Dude's good. Dude is good.
He'd be a good movie villain too. Having a triple double.
Somebody hired Nikola Jokic as the
averaging a triple double in the
league
NBA,
villain.
and he'd be averaging triple double in kills, drug rings. I don't know, whatever else you can think of.
Sounds like a good plan there.
I don't know the plot yet. I'm still working on that.
We'll work on it.
I'm still working on it. By my next episode, we'll have a plot for Nikola Jokic as a mob boss. Trust me, I'm working on it. It's still in the early development stage. We're going to talk about some games coming up.
Okay.
Tonight on ABC, Grizzlies versus Lakers. Grizzlies going to get that dub.
No.
Not really. I'm kidding. That's a joke. These are just some notable games, I think. Grizz versus Warriors on Thursday on TNT. We got some big games.
We got some tough ones.
We've got to win. Hopefully, pray to God, Ja is back.
At Golden State.
At home.
It's at home.
Mm-hmm.
Though that helps.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah, hopefully Ja's back.
At least it's not in the Bay.
Because he's sitting at home getting mental treatment right now, so hopefully he's back. Knicks versus Kings on Thursday.
That'll be a good one. Knicks are hot.
Knicks are hot. Kings are
the Kings
scrapping right now. So Thursday on TNT, following the Grizz game. On Saturday, Mavericks and Grizzlies, Bucks and Warriors, Kings and Suns.
In Memphis, Mavs and Grizzlies?
Yep.
Okay. Once again, that helps.
Yep. Kings, Suns, Mavs, Bucks, Bucks, Warriors, Mavs, Grizz. All on Saturday. That'll be a good day for basketball.
That'll be a good one.
Sunday, Knicks, Lakers.
Oh, in L.A. That'll be tough.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll see.
That'll be a fun one, though.
We'll see.
Grizz, Mavs on Monday. Again, got to get those wins when you can. At least one of those. Got to pick up one of those. Suns and Warriors on Monday. Bucks and Kings on Monday. Good games, man. You know,
those are all good teams.
Good, competitive, contending teams. So these are going to be good games. Important games at that. College basketball conference tournaments have kicked off.
Championship week, baby.
Tune into those, man. Got some good stuff going on.
Pac-12, ACC, SEC, Big 12,
tournament
Big 10.
Tournament repercussions.
Very big. Carolina, let's shock the world. Come on, Carolina.
Yep. As always,
I don't know if it'll happen, but whatever.
Y'all gotta like. Y'all gotta subscribe. Y'all gotta follow. You gotta, comment. Tell your mom about us. Tell your cousin about us. Tell your neighbor about us. Have them over for dinner and talk between hoops. Say, hey, did you see Colby and Post Malone from Menards? Yep.
Oh,
man.
That's gotten out of hand.
Yep. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
thank y'all for listening. We out.